Today, a letter signed by 45 congressional members has been sent to the DEA urging it to delay scheduling kratom and provide time for a public comment. Good evening, I'm Jeannie Blaylock.
And I'm Heather Crawford. Kratom is natural and right now it's legal. Many who suffer from chronic pain, anxiety and depression describe it as a miracle plant.
But as soon as this Friday, the DEA plans to enact an emergency temporary ban on kratom, making it a Schedule I controlled substance, the same category as heroin, LSD and marijuana.
Now that means if you have it in your possession or you use it after the ban goes into effect, you can be arrested and charged with a felony. I never heard of kratom until a family member who struggled with chronic pain for years began taking it. And when I learned about this proposed ban, I posted it on Facebook. I was blown away by the response. More than 300 people commenting on how kratom has helped them. Posts like this from this mother who said, "I watched our oldest son become addicted to opiates from sports injuries and then turned to heroin. By the grace of God, our son found kratom. Kratom turned our heroin-addicted son into a functioning member of society." And this from Lois Gilpin, a grandmother with lupus, who says, "I was bedridden and lived in constant pain. I began using kratom 6 months ago, and I no longer take methadone at all. I no longer go to pain management. Kratom gave me my life back." On your side tonight, why the DEA believes kratom is an imminent hazard to public safety and what supporters are doing to try to stop it from being banned.
These are all the medications that I have been able to replace with kratom alone.
Julie Bass, a stay-at-home Jacksonville mom, has struggled with chronic back pain since she was a teenager.
More gabapentin.
Doctors put her on a growing cocktail of prescription medications. She's even had back surgery, but the pain didn't go away.
Tramadol was not helping anymore, so they put me on something stronger, hydrocodone. Those things work for a little while, and then they stop working. The next option is to put you on more potent painkillers.
Last year, she started taking the herbal supplement kratom, brewing it into a tea. It's a tree-like plant in the same family as coffee, indigenous to Southeast Asia, where it's been used for hundreds of years.
People ask all the time, what is it like? I've never been high off of it. It gives you a little bit of energy, like a cup of coffee, and it takes away the pain.
Over the past year, the DEA says it has seen a huge spike in kratom, which is widely available online and in smoke shops. What was your reaction when you found out that the DEA planned to make this a Schedule I controlled substance?
I cried.
Kratom is known to produce a mild stimulant effect at low doses and opioid-like effects at higher doses. It's used to treat not only pain, but also depression, PTSD, even help kick addiction to drugs like heroin.
Maybe we can work along with the DEA and the FDA. Let's get some research done. With all these testimonies saying that it's helping people, why ban it?
Well, DEA's determined that it has no current accepted medical use and it has a high potential for abuse. Those are the two primary factors that we are considering in terms of placing kratom as a Schedule I controlled substance.
DEA spokesman Russ Baer says kratom poses a threat to the public.
When you're considering 15 related kratom deaths, kratom used either individually or in combination with alcohol or other drugs does pose an imminent hazard to the public safety.
A hazard Dr. Lawrence Fox, a researcher with the National Institutes of Health, says he's seen firsthand.
I phoned 911 and I told them, don't send an ambulance with lights and sirens racing through intersections. There's no one here to save. He's dead.
Dr. Fox had never heard of kratom until he found his 20-year-old son, Alex, dead in his bedroom 3 years ago. The autopsy showed his son had ingested kratom. His death certificate lists kratom and O-desmethyl tramadol intoxication. He says his son had struggled with opiates and kratom was marketed as being safe.
The risk, of course, is that this has sedating properties. Alex probably died simply of being over-sedated and unable to breathe.
Dr. Fox says until there's more research done on kratom, he wants a ban in place. A ban more than 130,000 people who have signed a White House petition oppose.
It's a miracle for me. Is it going to be a miracle for everybody? No, but none of these drugs are. None of them. This is giving me pain relief without the personality change.
The DEA says this emergency temporary ban will last 2 to 3 years, while the agency, along with the FDA, evaluate both the good and the bad.
We need to have additional research into whether or not kratom has medical benefits. And if it does, then we will have a different conversation.
And research, he says, can still be conducted even with a ban in place.
I want the DEA to know that we do want to see some studies on it. We're in favor of making sure that it stays out of head shops. We're in favor of making sure that someone under 18 does not get it. I don't want it to be peddled as an opium substitute. I want education, not prohibition.
I think kratom might have useful applications. I think until we know what the safe dose is, what the potentially harmful dose is, it shouldn't be simply ordered. And I think this is a very, very important life or death safety issue.
Now, the DEA says this temporary ban could take place as early as this Friday, but right now a definitive date has not yet been set. It is considering whether or not to open up the dialogue to the public. And you can join in on the conversation right now on the First Coast News Facebook page. Let us know what you think and use hashtag FCN2Go on Twitter.